Hello and welcome back to a special little Q&A episode of How Very Hannah. We're not even going to roll the titles and we're going to go straight in with the Qing and the Aing, which means question and answer if you didn't know. First question, what's your most used emoji? Okay, my most used emoji is... Really hitting hard questions. Oh, okay, it's the smiling but crying one because... I don't know if you know, but I have had you won't know. I have just had I've had a journey from hell to get here today. I've got this outfit on and I'm going to be wearing this outfit for the next maybe 3 episodes or however many we're filming today because I planned to go home. I was on a sleeper train, great experience, lovely. Couldn't have predicted what was going to happen. The train broke down. So I'm sleeping on the train, 5 a.m, train breaks down. Cool. Could have happened to any train, but it happened to be the sleeper train I was on. And we had to wait on the train for like 2 more hours. And then it got towed back. It got towed or pushed or something to Edinburgh. So I woke up in the morning, was meant to wake up in London. I woke up still in Scotland. I was like, I'm a celebrity. I keep spitting on the mic. Right? I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. But I was still in Scotland with Ruben on the train, who is in the other room still. I planned to go back home, get changed, have a shower, do my makeup, drop the dog at home, give him some breakfast. But instead, I had to get off the train in Edinburgh, get the 7:30 train from Edinburgh to London, which meant another 5 hours on the train, even though I'd been on the train overnight, the whole night for like 10 hours already. So 15 hours on the train today. So I am crazy. And my hair is not the same color as it was before. That's all I'm going to say. It's a work in progress. I used the box dye and I am actually in love. I actually love the color of it. I just need it all to like blend a bit more. So I'm going to use a toner on it because I've only just done it and I planned to do that this week, but the week's just been busy and it's all happening. So the reason for the smiling but crying emoji is because I am smiling and I'm here and I'm loving life. But I'm also crying a little bit because it's like, it's so fine. Everything's going to be fine. You want me to sit on the train for another 5 hours? Of course. Just like smiling through the pain. That's a little catch up on my life. Okay. I bet you wish you never asked the question. Next question. What's one thing that has stuck with you with each role you've played? Oh gosh, each role. Well, I feel like because I've covered so many roles, there's quite a lot, but let's go with like the main roles that I played. So like, the role I was cast into, like New Wave Girl. What stuck with me with that role, I guess it's less the actual role in the show and more the experience of playing that part and what I learned on that job. So like New Wave Girl would probably be the dance captain experience that I had on that job and learning how to cut the show and learning how to handle pressure. What other roles? Obviously all the Heathers, but like that was all under the Heathers bracket, so I'll leave that one. SpongeBob. Karen the computer. What did I take from that role? Learning that I can do the show without being able to see. Because I don't know if you were around for that era, but when I did SpongeBob, I had to wear this visor that had like, it was really cool. It's like a visor, like pair of glasses that had like this like stream running through it of like, it looked like a computer because I was playing, spoiler, Karen the computer. But because the background for the design had to be dark, there was like, it was just like plastic and then this tiny little slit, like honestly, that big for me to see through. So I spent the whole show like, either looking under the glasses like that or like looking through this tiny slit. And I'm convinced that that's why I'm getting like so many wrinkles here because I spent the whole year like just like going like that, squinting all the time. But I'm not mad about it. So yeah, learning that I can do the show without one of my senses and it's fine. With 6, I think I learned because my role was to like my role was covering. So the 2 tracks I was playing, I think it's just like the live performance element of 6. I think like it's such a different musical to any other musical I had done and have done, and the way that it's set like a concert and you wear your in-ears and you're like having patter with the audience and you're kind of playing yourself but like a different version of yourself, like your Catherine Howard version or Catherine Parr version of yourself. So I think that was really good to learn that from those roles, like that I think performing like a pop star is very different to performing like a straight acting show. And then Legally Blonde, I think Margot has taught me how important like girlhood is, and having that connection with my Delta Nu sisters on stage is so special. On stage and off stage is so special and so important. I feel like Margot and like the energy and the enthusiasm I get from playing Margot like gives me energy. I don't know, even on the days where I don't have any energy, when I'm doing a Margot show and it goes, you hear that drum fill at the start, dun 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 dun. That was a really bad example, but the start of Oh My God, you guys. I hear that and automatically I'm like, switch it on, like energy, energy, energy. And I stand in the wings and I jump up and down for 2 counts of 8. I go jump, 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 jump. And I jump for 2 counts of 8. And that energy like takes me through the show. And I think it's like knowing that like performing and the joy I get from it like can give me energy. And hopefully that translates to the audience. Did that make any sense? I've had a long day, so I feel like maybe my sentences aren't working, but we're going to go with it. And you're all just on the same vibe. Okay, what is your favourite thing to do after a matinee show? Eat! So much food. I am like immediately ravenous. I'm like, get me a Nando's pronto. Caffeine. Actually, not always caffeine, because sometimes it's a bit late. And if I have caffeine like between shows, I will be like quite awake in the evening, so I try not to have too much caffeine after the matinee. So yeah, definitely eat. I like to do stage door when I can, but also I love when I've got friends and family in, and I love like going to see them after the matinee and getting to chat with them and just catching up with everyone, really. Sometimes we actually get quite a big break between shows, so it's nice to chill. Sometimes I think I've napped once. I don't really like to nap because sometimes I feel like it gives me less energy. I don't know why. But to be honest, in the break, I do like to just like rest my voice and not speak too much and not like do too much. But sometimes the vibes are high. We be playing games and doing all sorts of fun things. And I love a game and an activity. And also I do like to get some fresh air because it can be really hot in the theatres. It's just nice to get outside and feel some wind in my ginger hair. If you could have dinner with anyone in the world, living or dead, who would it be? Ooh, that's a good one. Cynthia Erivo. Period. I just think she has so much wisdom, and I think it would be such an honour to sit and have dinner with her. Like, are you joking? What would we talk about? I would just fangirl it the whole time. I try not to. I try to have a regular conversation with her. But I just feel like she would have so much to offer in a conversation, and I just would find it really interesting like to hear about like her journey. And actually, where I trained at LSMT before Cynthia did Wicked, and like obviously she was a big name in the musical theatre world for a long time, but like before she did Wicked, she actually taught a workshop at LSMT, not for my year group. I think it was a couple years before mine, but like she did a workshop there, and I just think that's crazy that like she was doing workshops at colleges and stuff like that. And like really, I'm not saying she's not hustling now, because she probably very much is, but like that like actor hustle and like doing workshops and teaching, and like I think she still continues to do that, which I really love for her. But I would just love to hear about her experience in this industry and how that has changed now that she's got like global fame and recognition. And if we got Cynthia Erivo on the pod one day, then we could have dinner on the pod. That would work. Can you imagine? What we having? It's up to you. Out of the Legally Blonde cast, who would survive the longest in a zombie apocalypse? Definitely not me. That's for sure. Who would survive longest in a zombie apocalypse? Who's got like good... I feel like you've got to have a bit of strength. You've got to have some intelligence there. You've got to have survival skills. And no one's springing to mind, I fear. Jocasta! Yeah, Jocasta would be good in a zombie apocalypse. She's smart, she's strong, I'm sure she's got survival skills. She's got a big dog as well, which I think could help. Ruben would be no help. Luna might. I think Jocasta. Hold on a second. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. But Hannah from the future, or the past, I don't know, either way, is just joining you to tell you to please subscribe or follow, whether you're watching or listening. It really helps us out, and we want to keep creating this podcast and bringing you so much musical theatre love and joy. And that's all I have to say. Back to the episode. What's your biggest tips for covering multiple roles? What's your system of organisation? Oh, did I ask this question? Because I'm still not quite sure. Do you know what? I do just close my eyes and pray, which is really bad, and I don't recommend it. when I started Six, I was like, I'm going to buy an iPad and I'm going to get a system in place. And I have an iPad and I have a system called Stage Right. But I think I spent more time trying to make it all cute and colour coordinated and la 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 than I needed to. And then as soon as we were out of rehearsals, I didn't look at it once. I just like watched the videos of the performance and stuff. So I think if I was covering multiple roles like that again, with Legally it's different because I'm only covering one role. So I kind of didn't really have a system. I just kind of used my script and like wrote a couple things down here and there, but you kind of just learn as you go, and fitting 2 tracks into a brain is different to fitting 3 in my head. I don't know. But Six was different because I didn't have my own track. I was just covering the 2 tracks and they were very similar but different. And yeah, I never really looked back at my Stage Right thing. I think I don't know. I think if I could go back, I would just get videos of everything, because like that for me, and I would just use my phone. That is the easiest thing for me to just go on, look, zoom in, where am I stood, what number, blah, blah, blah. And I think like that is the most helpful thing for me. And also, I'm taking this from Kelly Finglas from DCC, America's Sweethearts. But she records voice notes to like remind herself of things. So she'll be watching the girls perform and she'll be like, Kelly's legs are, Reese's arms aren't on the right position. I don't, that was a really bad example, but she does voice notes, and I think that is the type of thing that works for me, videos or voice notes, because otherwise I remember spending so much time when we were learning the show in Six that I spent so much time like on my iPad that I didn't really get up and do it much. And I'm like, I wish I'd have just got up and just done it more. I think maybe I was just being lazy and I wanted to sit down. I would change that, but everyone learns and works differently. So try out a couple of things, see what works for you. Some people like iPads, some people like the old traditional pen and paper and highlighters. I do prefer an iPad to have my script on, but it honestly just depends. What's the biggest message you hope audiences take away from Legally Blonde? For me, oh God, I don't know. I think it depends. It depends on the type of person that's watching it. But like for me, one of the biggest like story arcs is the female friendships in the show, and seeing how at the start of the show, Elle had her girls, you know, she has her Delta News throughout the show, and they are just ride or die for her. They support her in everything she does. Like there's not like a single bit with her Delta Nu girls, there's not like a single bit of jealousy, or, you know, they're all just so excited that like she's getting engaged. Well, so she thinks that she's getting engaged and she's going to find a beautiful outfit. And it's like, they're all just like there for each other. And I think that's so important to show on stage. And then also, following on from that, it's like how at the start of the show, Elle conflicts a little bit with Enid and with Vivian and, you know, with the girls and everyone at Harvard. And I think seeing the journey that they go on throughout the show, and at the end, seeing kind of Elle stood with Vivian and Enid and all of like her friends and the people around her who have finally accepted her, it's just like a real strong message that like actually we are stronger as women if we, you know, support each other and work together. And Elle is a really underestimated character, and I think also they're just like showing that like you can underestimate anyone and they're still going to continue to thrive and keep like showing up and like showing you how they can be authentically themselves and still succeed. And I think that's a beautiful message. Would you ever want Ruben to work on a show as a performing pet? Ruben, he is here somewhere. Would Ruben be good on stage? I think he would probably be scared by the audience because he doesn't really like loud noises or like big. I think he wouldn't cope well backstage because there's quite a lot. It's dark and there's like a lot happening and it's like busy backstage. On stage, the audience are really loud. He's dead asleep in the other room. He's not dead. He's asleep. Sorry. I shouldn't have put those two words together. Really? Okay, well, Ruben is in the other room. He's here in spirit. So he is quite well trained. Like, if I've got a treat in hand, he will sit and give me his paw and he will bark on cue. Like, we have been working on that. Bruiser, where's Elle? But in terms of doing performing as a job, I don't see that in his future. But if they needed an emergency cover, he would be fine, I'm sure. Although you can't really pick him up with one arm. So maybe he could be emergency cover Rufus or something. Okay. What's the hardest thing about working in the musical theatre industry? Right now, I feel like the schedule and the like toll it takes on your body and your voice and your, not relationships, but like your social life. And like obviously there's lots of jobs out there that are really exhausting, but I think our schedule is really full on, and the show does take it out of you a lot. And especially being on tour, like the traveling and stuff, like is a whole other level of like stamina is needed to like spend 15 hours on the train. And yeah, there is definitely like a lot of amazing things about it. I think one of the hardest things for me right now is the schedule and just being exhausted. If you could gender flip any musical theatre role and play it tomorrow, who would you pick? Maybe like Fiyero or something. Dancing through life. I just think he's a fun character to play. Fiyero would be good. In the like white, are they called jodhpurs? Jodhpurs, I think that's what they're called. In the really tight white yeah. Fiyero, come on. Jonathan Bailey, eat your heart out. I'm a first year performing student and already feel behind in my career. Suggestions. Whoa! That's what I want to say to that. Whoa! Hold your horses. You're in your first year. What? Behind in what? If you're in your first year of training, like, who are you behind? What are you behind? Like, it's not a race. It's not a competition. It's not like, oh, I'm behind this person next to me. We're all just running our own races, and it's not even a race. We're all on our own paths. So try not to compare yourself to others and feel like you have to be at a certain level. Like, we are all so special as individuals, and like that is not gonna ever look the same. Like, you don't want to be a carbon copy of the person next to you. So just relax, enjoy yourself, work hard, and it's gonna be okay. What's the best way to look after your voice during a heavy rehearsal period? Honestly, rest. Really focus on your sleep. And I know it's hard because if you're in a rehearsal process and you're getting to know your cast and your company, and you're like, oh, we're going to the pub after the show and we're all going out and da da da. I'm not saying don't do that. Like, you're your own person, decide what you want to do. But just maybe make some sensible decisions with how you're spending your free time. For me personally, like I'm like no contact during rehearsals. I'm like, I don't really do social things, and if I do, it's like, whoa, what's Hannah doing here? I try and just like rest as much as possible. Good food. As much. I sound like a robot then. Daisy 12 is a really good robot impression. She's like this. Anyway, as much as it sounds silly to talk about food when you talk about your voice, I just think like your voice and your body, it stems from like, I feel like your health and well-being and stuff. So like look after your mind, look after your body, like try and eat good food, try and rest, try not to like shout too much in between rehearsals and stuff. And I think like that's all you can do. Like it's going to be a lot when you're in rehearsals, like you're singing. I remember first day of rehearsals for Legally, we were like, dear Al, he's unlucky, and it's like, that felt so unnatural for me and my voice and my body, and doing that constantly, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get through the show if I'm vocally tired? I'm vocally tired right now just from speaking. So I know that like after this, I need to drink loads of water and then go home and like not speak for a little while. And I think it's just like trying to be in tune with your body and knowing what it needs. Hydration is key. Hydration is king, hydration is queen, hydration stations, the World Cup, hydration breaks, sign me up. That sounds like I'm doing like a rap. Hydration breaks, sign me up. But just so much water, it really helps. And like if I haven't drank, either way, if I haven't drunk enough, I can feel it immediately. Like I'll start the show, almost there, but, and be like, oh my gosh, I've not drank enough water today. And then I'll come off stage and I'll drink so much that I'm like, oh no, I'm going to wet myself. So honestly, just water. And electrolytes are good because they help you be even more hydrated. And also, someone I follow, Mary Kate Morrissey, who played Elphaba on Broadway and many other things, she swears by drinking coconut water. I want to say, she said coconut water is super hydrating. I personally don't like coconut water, but if you do, then that is a little fun fact for you. Okay, next question. How do you get through the show if you're having a bad day? I actually think the show helps me if I'm having a bad day sometimes, which is kind of weird. But like what I was saying earlier is when I get so much energy from doing these roles, and it does take a lot of energy, but it also like gives me so much, like, maybe energy is the wrong word, like adrenaline. That helps me kind of forget about what is going on that day. And maybe I've been privileged enough to not have anything like major happen. I can't say I've had to do a show when something really major or traumatic has just happened, so I can't speak on that. But I would say for like other things is just trying to forget about it, and actually doing the show is like my release from whatever is happening during the day. In the same way that when people come and watch shows, a lot of the time it's like so they can forget about their regular life for a couple of hours and just be fully in the show and in the moment. So I think that kind of works the same way for me as a performer as well. I feel like it's like my release. It can be hard if I'm having a bit of a bad day, or if I'm on my period, or if I've got a headache, or if I'm really stressed or something like that. I don't know. That it can be hard to like switch it on. And it's in times like that where I feel like I really rely on my kind of the character work that you've done for the roles, because you have to really tap into that, to like tap into the character rather than just like doing it. It's also like a little bit like you have to switch your mindset into like, this is my job and I have to just get on with it. And obviously there are some circumstances where you won't just get on with it. And if something, major is happening, then if you're ill or sick and you have to go off the show. But like a lot of the time, if I'm just having a bad day, a lot of people, some doctors will be having a bad day and they still have to go in and do a full day of work. So you kind of just grin and bear it every now and then. I think it's hard when you're forward facing and you have to smile as part of your job. Literally, you have to smile and look happy as part of your job, which can be hard. But as an actor, you have to just like switch it on and fake it till you make it. And some days you're really present and you're really in the moment, and some days you are just going through the motions. And I think it's okay to like accept that. Sometimes you will be on autopilot, and as much as it might feel a bit like nah, the audience will still get an amazing performance. But like, to protect yourself, you do have to some days just be like, okay, let's just get through it today and show up, and tomorrow's a new day and we'll see what that brings. Final question, my favorite one. Favorite way to eat eggs? Boiled, actually. Boiled egg, cut into some slices on... Oh, God, I need to do this tomorrow morning. I can't wait. On a salad. I haven't had eggs all week. Team Egg would be upset. If you don't know what that is, then you have to watch the Plymouth vlog. Please go back and watch that. Boiled, sliced on some sourdough with some salted butter. That's my kryptonite. That. Or poached, not scrambled. Fried? Yeah. Depends if I'm feeling greasy or not. If I'm feeling greasy, get me a fried egg. But yeah, boiled. And it's easy. No mess, no fuss. Do you know what? Sometimes if I'm boiling eggs, I don't even clean the pan afterwards. Is that gross? Outrageous. Is that outrageous? All the pan is seen is the outside of the egg and hot water. So there you have it. That's my favourite way to eat eggs, and I bet you're glad you asked. So that is the end of the questions. Thank you for sending in your questions. But before this episode ends, I have a very exciting announcement. Drum roll, please. We've been nominated for a bCreator award. I'm really excited. But How Very Hannah has been nominated for Podcast of the Year. We have been shortlisted, and you can now officially vote for your winners. Please vote for us. And there's lots of different categories on there. I was previously nominated for Entertainment Creator of the Year, and I lost. So I'd love a redemption arc where How Very Hannah wins, because it's not just me behind How Very Hannah. There's an incredible team. Producer Sophia, particularly. Big shout out to producer Sophia at Bear Lane Productions. So please get your votes in. We would love to see it. Who knows if I'll be able to get the day off work to go to the actual awards. Imagine if I got the day off work, went to the awards and then lost. I'd be gutted. We'd have a nice time. And maybe we could eat some eggs or something, and then it'd be even nicer. Anyway, I need to shut up. So all the details for that will be in the show notes and the description. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and vote for the bCreator Awards. And then once you've done all that, you can relax. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week for another guest episode. Bye.